Yes, are you silly? Yes, you're playing and being so silly. Yes, you're the silliest.
I know. He
Oh, that's
will
nice.
literally do this.
Oh, that's
the whole
nice.
time.
Yes, that's nice. That's
He's like,
okay.
"A
We like
model."
it. Yes, are you flirting?
He is.
Are you a flirt? That's okay. I like
he knows what he
that.
likes.
Yes, that's nice.
So, where are you in from?
I live in New York,
Okay,
but
that's
I
right.
go back and forth to Nashville too. So I kind of live there,
Nice.
kind of live in New York.
Okay.
Bit of back and forth, but for work, I'm mostly in New York.
What's in Nashville?
Just my life, my
that's
calm,
nice.
peaceful life.
Totally.
Just a place to get away from everything.
Yeah. Oh my
So-
God. Especially living in New York, you
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like some
It's-
literal touching grass.
It's pretty hectic
Like
there, but
grounding.
I love the chaos. But
Yeah.
it's nice to get a break
You're
every
like,
once in a while.
I have to say that.
Like, I love it, but it's hard.
Oh my God, I can only imagine. And you're from Colorado.
Yeah.
I am too.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, because I saw a Denver Broncos
Yeah.
cap and I was almost said
Yeah.
something, but then I got distracted by this angel.
I know he's very distracting. I don't know if he's an angel. He's like part angel, part devil. I'm like, you can take him. He's 7, and I'm always like, it took me 7 years to like him.
Oh, gorgeous.
Only I know, just because he has so much energy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they get like
the doodles, they're high energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, he's the best. I was a Denver Broncos cheerleader for 5 years.
No way.
Yeah. And I heard you were a dancer.
Well,
Is that right?
dancer, that's a very generous term. I did ballet for like 5 years, but
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't.
Consider yourself a dancer.
I was
Take it,
not
own
good at it. I loved it, but I was not.
Yeah. I think it's harder for tall girls. Like
Yeah,
I will
also I'm just not very coordinated.
It's hard when your limbs are so long.
So I was like, well, something's not.
Right. You're like, but I like it. But I like music.
It was great. It was fun, but I got to like a certain age, and then it was sort of,
yeah.
well, maybe you should consider
So you were
pursuing other areas.
yeah, softly pushed out.
Softly.
You're like, this
Gently.
Taylor girl. Yeah.
Gently
Right.
escorted out.
Yeah, she should pursue other things like modeling.
Yeah.
Like, please.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go to the Olympics as a gymnast? Like,
Right.
I'm confused.
And, oh my God, but your center of gravity, I feel like it would just be high risk of like injury error on those beams.
I mean, I did. I fell off the beam really hard once and smacked my foot on a smaller training beam, and I bruised my bone, which I didn't know was possible, but I didn't
Yeah.
fracture or break anything. I just, it was such a deep bruise that it like bruises your bone.
Could you see it?
Yeah, it was pretty
I'm
crazy.
like, that
And
would
my
be-
foot was really swollen, and I had to wear a boot for 2 weeks.
Oh my God. Telling everyone you have a bruised bone. They're like, sure.
They're like, oh, what happened to your foot? And I was like, no, I broke it.
Right. You're like, I swear it's in pieces.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's almost embarrassing to not break it and just bruise it and then
The
have to wear a
bruise.
boot.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, a war wound. Gymnastics is never anything I fucked with. I'm like, I have 2 feet on the ground at all times.
Yeah.
I'm not going upside down.
I get that. And nowadays, I'm like that. Also, jumping backwards, no. Too old.
Jumping backwards.
But, like, I loved it when I was a kid. I always thought it was the most fun
Yeah.
thing ever.
Totally. And your like amygdala isn't fully developed. So
Yeah.
you're like an adrenaline junkie. Like
No
nothing can
fear.
stop you.
You're just like, that sounds fun. I want to do that. And then you just do it.
yeah.
So,
Do you go back to, you're from Arvada, is that right? Do you go
Yeah.
back often?
no, so when I was like 13, 14, my parents, we moved to Winter Park, like the mountain town.
Oh, gorgeous.
And they sold my like childhood home because I
Okay.
left school. My younger sister started doing homeschooling. My older sister graduated. My younger brother graduated, and they were kind of just like, well, we don't really have kids here anymore. They're not going to school here anymore. Also, my brother was an amateur like competitive snowboarder.
Oh my God.
And
a family of elites. What's in your genetics?
He was really good, actually. He was on the snowboard team there, so he like pursued competing and snowboarding for a few years, and then ultimately decided that he wanted to go to school, do all of that stuff. So he went more in that direction. But yeah, we grew up snowboarding in the mountains there. So then my parents just moved there full time. So then when I came home as like a late in my late teens, I kind of went home there. So then
that's amazing.
I drive through Arvada and I'm like,
yeah. Like, miss, not. I mean,
So
people are like, what's Denver like? I'm like, it's fine.
it's okay.
Like, right? I, mean,
I love the mountains. Like,
totally.
to me, that's my home. Like, that's where I've always felt the most at home. And when I go home, I love being there. It feels like I'm in the middle of nowhere. I love the snow. I love being able to go snowboarding. So it just reminds me of my childhood. And even though I didn't since I was little kid grow up there, or go to school up there, I felt the most at home there. So.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I moved to Colorado when I was 18, so I didn't totally grow up there like high school and stuff, but it feels very nostalgic when I go back.
Yeah.
It's like I can relax, raid the fridge, rot in the basement.
Yep.
It's like that is home.
Yep.
Plus the mountains.
Yep, the mountains.
Yeah.
I love them. Love looking at them. Love being in them.
Right, I know, yeah. Even though I swear that altitude is bad for your health. I'm like, is your family still in Winter Park?
My parents are, yeah.
Okay.
They're there.
Let them know. No, just kidding.
No, so they're there half the year.
Okay.
So they split time now. They go to Florida, in the dead of winter.
Like a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my parents they're kind of just. They were tired shoveling snow and.
Oh my God, I can imagine. I know, so much work.
It's a lot of work
to live that high up full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I brought my girlfriend home to Colorado for the first time for Thanksgiving, and she had kind of gotten altitude sickness before. She'd flown straight to Aspen.
Oh yeah.
Which is if you've ever gone, you can get dizzy, you feel like you're dehydrated all the time, nauseous, but she's a borderline hypochondriac. So you don't actually know if things are really happening. So she was right when I land, you need to pick me up with 2 oxygen cans.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you got it. And then the whole, we were there, I think we were almost there for 10 days. She would wake up in the morning and hit the can. Yeah. I'm like, is this drama? Is this actually happen?
Does that really work though? I mean, I can't really tell because
right.
I always feel it the first couple of days. When I first get home, I walk up the stairs and I'm like, oh, I'm out of shape. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, I'm not. I'm just at 9,000 feet in elevation. Yeah. And then I feel like my body adjusts kind of quickly. Yeah. So I feel like I've never felt if the cans work or not.
Totally.
Maybe they do work, but I'm just too...
Yeah, it could be placebo. It's great marketing capitalism if it doesn't work because people
Air
from
in a can.
Yeah, literally. People from sea level love it. And the football players on the sidelines, they'll hit it. But it could also be aesthetic. Yeah. It's maybe it makes you look cool.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, I know. It's there's bloody noses and I feel like you get so dry.
It's very dry.
It's
And my eyes, when I wake up in the morning, I'm they're crusted shut. I have to just crack them open.
Yeah, I'm moving to sea level. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. But I can understand why people love it. Do you are you a Broncos fan?
I think so.
There's
because
only one right answer here.
Because who else would I root for? I have no other team.
Yeah, there's no one else in the NFL.
You know what? I used to be a lot more into it when I was younger, more into football, but I just fell off the last couple of years.
I mean, I'm not I'm a Broncos fan because I cheer.
Yeah,
I mean, follow.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
You should follow it. You should be invested.
Right.
Myself, personally, if they do good, I'll watch.
Oh my God!
Is it annoying to say?
Good in so long. It's so
makes
embarrassing.
me sad. But I am a fan because I'm from there and it's nostalgic and I'm always rooting for them. Am I paying attention to every game? No. Yeah. Do I know who's playing right now? No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But I think it's a cool team and I like it.
I like the colors.
Orange is fun.
Yeah, it goes great with your skin
Orange and
tone, right?
Aren't they what's the color wheel thing? They're across each other on the wheel?
Yeah. Is that good?
I think so.
Okay.
It's red and green, orange and blue, purple and yellow.
Oh, wow. I feel like you're naming off a lot of the team's colors. It must be a color wheel thing.
I think they're called complementary colors or contrasting colors or something like that.
Okay,
I took an art class in school.
Sounds like it.
And I forgot everything, but
no, you didn't.
I do remember I'm a visual learner, so I remember the wheel and like seeing the colors across from each other.
Okay.
What it's called, I couldn't tell you.
It honestly makes sense because I'm like, why would you ever put orange and blue together?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. But I feel the same way. It's like, it's nice to have some pride.
Yeah.
You know, it's like going
like,
back home, seeing people in a Broncos jersey, like, go Broncos.
Yeah.
That's as far as I
also,
go.
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
They were crushing it for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, they were in.
I was like
for a
hearing
second.
about the Nuggets, and I was like,
Right.
the Nuggets?
Literally, you're like,
What? Flashback from my past.
Yeah.
I saw Carmelo Anthony at a basketball game, and I was like,
Oh.
he used to play on the Denver Nuggets, didn't you? And he was
my
like, I
God.
sure did. And I was like, I remember
Like,
you.
I know everything about you. I don't know who he is.
He was a player back in the day. I just remember I went to a Nuggets game. It was like my first live sporting event, and he was playing, and they used to shout like Mello and stomp on the ground and like shout his name, and then
That's
that
what you
like
do
stuck
when
in
you
my
meet
head.
him. You're like, remember this?
And I was like, oh, the only basketball player I know that played for the Denver Nuggets is Carmelo Anthony. That's it.
I definitely like know his name. I just could not put a face or like a score or
That's me in sports, really,
Yeah.
in general.
yeah, that's okay. We don't wear girls, please.
Yeah.
And sports is like, I mean,
It's
men
very
think
niche world.
women are so like drama and shallow, but it's like you literally play games for a living. Like, please,
Yeah.
you grow up.
Grow up.
Yeah. Okay, can we talk about you being a model? So sick.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Also so crazy. I like feel like I remember you
Oh.
when I was like younger, like right. I feel like when social media was coming out, we didn't have as much like influx, I guess, of celebrity, and it was like magazines, and you're like literally in the Victoria's Secret, you're telling me about my career, but I'm like, it's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why my dog is obsessed with you. He has great taste.
Oh.
But you've been modeling since you're 14, right?
Yep.
Are you tired?
Are you tired?
I'm exhausted talking about it.
You know what I was? Like, I get tired. I've been tired. Overall, am I tired? No. I love my job. It's so much fun. And I think I blinked and it's been 14 years. And I just think, how did I get here? How has all of this time gone by so fast? I remember being 14 and being like, one day when I'm 20, that feels so far away. That felt so old and so grown up. And then I was 20, and then I was like, oh my God, like imagine being 28 and all this stuff. And then here I am, 28, and it's been 14 years. I mean, time flies when you're having fun. I genuinely think that. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm really grateful. And I have a lot of fun doing what I do. But yeah, it's like anything else, for sure. Sometimes I'm tired, but I'm still happy.
Yeah, of course. Like, just the sickest job ever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what they say. They're like, do what you love. I'm like, okay, that's false news unless you're you. Like, I don't want to get anyone else's hopes up. Because I still hate to work.
You know,
I'm just kidding.
You could still do what you love, like as long as you have some outlet, or like you have a purpose or joy or a passion, and you include that into your daily life, like whatever that looks like for you. I think doing what you love it's a broad term, you know, it's a general, like just as long as you're happy and you have an outlet and a way to express yourself. I love that saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. You can, and like you could also love just like getting high on the couch and like watching Housewives. That's my passion.
That's fun. You can still do that, you know?
Right. It comes in all shapes and sizes. But no, I was a nurse for a long time, for like 8 years. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Thank you. It was like.
Do you say thank you for your service? Because I feel like nurses are just. We should salute you. We should say. You are on the front lines. Yeah. Like that's a battlefield, and you're you're in the Marines of health.
Right. We are serious soldiers. Me at 21 with a high ponytail.
What's a respectful term?
Dilaudid.
Yeah, it's just like how can we respect? Can we come up with a really cool, respectful phrase when someone says, "Oh, I'm a nurse," and we just say,
"I know,"
whatever. Insert cool quote.
I
Maybe they
completely
exist. I just don't
agree.
know.
No, I
But
think thank you for your service. I feel like I
thank
get
you
that
for your
a lot.
service.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a nurse.
Right. It's the same thing with like a police officer or a firefighter. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. You're just like, thank you.
you. And can I get your number in case my cat gets up the tree again? But no, yeah. And now like being able to have like a transition in my career, like I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
It is. It does. It makes like a big difference. What were the first like, cause I feel sometimes like when you look at it looks so glamorous modeling and like were the first like 5 to 10 years like did you ever have to do any like grunt work? Like was there a hierarchy or is it as glamorous as it looks?
There are parts that are as glamorous as it looks and it feels really glamorous and it feels really fun and you're just like, what is my life right now? What is my life? How's this happening? What? I look around and I'm like,
yeah.
Who, me? I'm here? Me. No.
Literally like pinch me actually.
Pinch me. It's so crazy. So there's definitely these aspects where it's like, yes, it is like that. It's like, what? But it's also a job. Like I take it really seriously. I work really hard at it.
That's why you're so successful.
I love what I do, but I have motivation, I have drive, I pursue my career and my dreams and my goals. And in the very beginning, in the early stages of modeling, it was very, it was challenging. You have to pay your dues, put in the work.
Yeah. What is like pay your dues? Like, what does it look like?
It's sort of just, it's kind of like building your book, building your image. So like back in the day. When I first started, we had a book. It was literally a physical book. It was a portfolio, and you took it to castings, and it had a comp card in it, and the client would flip through your book and see all of the work you've done.
Like right in front of you?
Yeah.
You're like, can I step out before you judge me?
It was the most awkward thing. I mean, maybe not the most awkward thing, but I'm an awkward person, so it was awkward for me. But it's an interesting thing. So it's in the beginning when you have no work, and you're going on these castings, how do you show them the work that you've done when you've done no work?
Oh my God, the story of our lives. It's like they want experience, but you won't give me any.
So you have to create the experience as a new model. You pay photographers to shoot you. They're called test shoots. You do editorials where you can get them because it's basically free work. Free, like not like free, but they don't pay you a lot to do it. It's just like images, more creative. You wear whatever's current in fashion, what's happening on the runways. You shoot for editorials for the inside pages, and that helps you like build your book and gain experience. And then you go to the casting and you hand them your book, and they're like, oh, they like flip you through the pages, and then they see that you've like done photos and stuff before, and then that's when like clients with money or commercial clients start hiring you and paying you, and then you're like a working model, and then you're like, this is my job now. So there's like paying your dues, and like you have to just go where they tell you and get work where you can, and it's really long days sometimes, and you're at someone's beck and call. So they want you here, they want to fit you, they want to cast you, they want to meet you before they fit you, and then you get there and you're just kind of waiting for them to make a decision and see if you're going to get this job. And sometimes the days are, I've done photo shoot days that are like 16 to 18 hour days, but I was a teenager, so I was like 15 to 17 doing days like this. Crazy. And it's crazy, but like I still had a really great time. Right. And it was, for me, it was still really fun, even though it was really long. But it was just like, well, I would rather be here than be in school. So that was kind of my outlook and my perspective on it.
Totally. I don't want to be in history class.
Yeah.
Mr. Crosby, or whatever the fuck his name is. Cosby was my history teacher.
Yeah.
Pervert.
Oh God. That's an unfortunate segue. What an unfortunate
I know, sorry.
turn of events.
Literally. I feel like my whole high school, but back to what you were saying.
So like, even though it was really long and these were really long days, I don't see it as like a negative thing or something to complain about, being like, it was so hard at the beginning. I look back on that time really fondly because it taught me hard work, having a strong work ethic, getting through everything, appreciating where I'm at today, and working towards something and having a goal and wanting to get somewhere. So it really, it's it's in each and every career. You have to start somewhere, right? And you get to build on that learned experience. So I look back on it and think of those days like that with like gratitude, because I'm like, if I didn't go through this, or, you know, do these hard days, or go wherever they told me and traveled like a crazy person, then I wouldn't have the appreciation that I do for where I'm at today, and I wouldn't have had the motivation and a dream and a goal to get here. So I don't know. It's an interesting part of the job, but it's fun.
Well, I think that is like, especially with the industry and stuff, and like you have to, not even just like the legwork in the beginning, but you almost have to be like very tunnel visioned.
Yeah.
Like there's not necessarily a timeline for anyone. And it was like, you know, it's that you started so early and like young, like kind of what a blessing, because I feel like you have more resilience.
Yeah.
But it's like you just like hope for your big break, or you hope it's going to pay off. But like
you don't know.
Yeah.
You're kind of just going in blind and just fingers crossed, throwing caution to the wind. I just like fly by the seat of my pants and figure it out kind of as you go. But that's being in a creative field, I think, in general.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't imagine, but were you ever rejected?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, probably even still today, I just don't really hear about it anymore, because I'm like, whatever. Just tell me.
God.
Just call me when you want me and I'll be there, kind of the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. But also I just feel like rejection to me wasn't like, I tried not to take it so personal, because it's not like they're rejecting you as a person.
Right.
They don't know you.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, Taylor, no. You know, that girl.
We hate her.
No, they're not looking at me like that. They're not looking at who I am as a person. In the very beginning, like for sure, modeling is definitely physically about how you look. But, you know, I think the way you're able to build a career as a model is just like any other. You get to experience different sets, like meet different photographers, make different connections, and make friends. And people want to work with their friends, right? I mean, I've never had a corporate job, but I can only imagine even in a corporate setting, you want to be around people that you like, right? So, or you hope you can be around people that you like. Just like in fashion, you know, you hope you're going to, the call sheet comes, I'm like, oh, I hope it's someone I know. And then when
Who do you hate? No,
I'm just kidding. I love everyone. It's more about knowing people.
Right.
So I get excited when I'm like, oh my God, this photographer, I haven't seen them forever. I'm so excited to work with them. It's been forever since or I like their work. I've never worked with them, and I'm excited to meet them and work with them. So it's just like, it's people. We work there. It's just more people. So it's connecting with people. For sure. At the very beginning, it is about your look and what you look like, and they hire you for how you look and all these things. And if they don't, it's not about you. You have to like compartmentalize and separate the two, which I know is always really difficult, because it's about your physical self, and how do you separate your physical self from yourself? It's like I know it's a bit twisty in the head, but it's possible. I mean, after so many years, I did learn how to do it, and now it's just kind of like, okay, well, on to the next.
No, I think what you said, that it's like not personal, which we just forget all the time. Yeah. It's like it can't be personal because they don't know you. And it's like it is. I'm sure in the beginning, it's very much like so fast and like cattle-like. It's like, okay, yes, no, and then you just have to wait till like you get your foot in the door. But it's nice to like be able to see things clearly, and to have that. I'm sure it's always a hump for people to like get over rejection, but I feel like even like with dating, it's like when it comes, I mean, it sucks, but also I feel like the same thing goes. Like it's not always personal. At least and you know what? If it is, it's better to think that it's not. Yeah. Protect yourself. I'm always like, I don't want to know what bad things people have to say about me, because it's not going to change anything, and like that's your business, honestly. It's not for me to know.
I don't need to know.
It's nice to like work that muscle kind of early. I also like kind of learned that you had a lot of support from your family early on. Like your mom, you said, and your grandpa. Even that's so sweet. And your sister, like what did your family support mean to you, and like how do you feel like it impacted your career?
I'm really grateful for my family. I think that they made me who I am, and that the only reason I got to pursue my dream and do what I like to do is because of them. My mom came with me everywhere from the day I started modeling until I was like almost 18, probably like 17 and a half. Or,
Yeah.
That's kind of annoying to
like,
say,
I'm sick
but
of this, you're fine.
it was literally just a couple months before my 18th birthday was she finally like, you've been here before, you've been there before, you've worked for that person, you know where you're going, like do a couple of these shoots and go on a couple of these things alone. And I did, and it was totally fine because I kind of had like training from my mom on how to navigate the world and use public transportation and navigate an airport and learn what signs led where and don't talk to strangers and, you know, I don't know, just be aware of your surroundings. And she taught me street smarts.
Yeah.
So.
No, right? Because, and I feel like safety would be a scary thing for a parent, especially when you're so young, because there's like perverts and creeps out there.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. You just have to be aware of, especially as a woman, like, you know, you just watch your six, you know.
Watch your six.
It's like your back, like watch your back. Keep it. I don't know. Is that a
New York thing? What's the six mean?
I don't know. I just heard it once.
I'm going to use it.
I said it.
Great. Yeah.
Like my six, like it's like a clock,
Watch
right?
it.
So like is the 12. Maybe I'm saying it backward. Yes, your six is behind you.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm a clock and 12 is ahead and 6 is behind. So it's like watch my 6. Like
yeah, totally. Like I got my eyes on the 6.
And it's like I've got my eyes on 3, you know, to the side, and then what's on the other side? I don't do clocks very well. Oh my god.
And that's as far as I go. So if you guys are trying to get Taylor, come from my 9.
Come from my 9. My 9 I don't know very well. No, just kidding. Wow, I sound so unintelligent right now. I'm really smart, I promise.
No, everyone here knows that I'm dumb. Don't ever take anything that I say seriously. I'm so full of shit. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because I was like, what's the other number? It just left my brain. That left my brain for a second there. All right, we're back now.
That's amazing, though. Are you close with your grandpa?
My grandpa, he was the best thing in my entire life. I had 2 living grandparents, my grandma on my dad's side and my grandpa on my mom's side.
Okay.
And they were both really special, and we were both really close with them because we lost one on each side when we were very young.
Okay.
And
they just get together.
And then you like kind of get to no, they didn't get together, but like our parents made such an effort for us to see them because the other passed. And I think for my parents to lose a parent, it was sort of, I need to spend a lot of time with the living parent that I have, and make sure my children know my mom or my dad. And my grandpa, my mom's dad, he was really involved in our lives, and even though he didn't live in the same state as us, he always made such a huge effort to come and see us every summer. We would spend summers with him. He was a really, really special person. And he's amazing. He was definitely a light in my life, and my dog Tate was named after him.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I love him very much, and I lost him this year in January.
So oh my gosh!
And it was a tough loss, and I miss him a lot. So
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you are you spiritual?
Yes, very.
Yeah. Do you feel like you feel him?
Yeah, all the time. I also feel Tate all the time.
Oh my god.
I feel my grandpa, but I also think that in a really weird way, he was, I don't know how to phrase this. It's not like he was excited to die, but he was ready to move on, because my grandma that we lost when I was 5, that was his soulmate. That was the love of his life. And she died quite suddenly and pretty young, I think. She was in her early to mid 60s, which is...
It's young.
I think it's pretty young.
Yeah.
When you're a kid and you're 60, you're like, that's so old.
Right, yeah.
But now I'm 60 something. My dad is almost that age.
Yeah.
So, and I think, he really missed her and really, you know, wanted to be with her. However you believe it, like, I don't know, but I think he believed that he would be with her when he got to go. So when he passed, I think that he was so excited to see her again and be with her again. So like while he's here, I also feel like he really got to pass, like he really got to go, you know? So I have these little moments where I see him in life and all of these things, but the fact that I don't hear from him like so obviously or see him so obviously means like I feel like he really got peace and like really got to go be with her. Kind of makes me believe in that stuff a little bit more.
Totally. I know. I feel like being in like my relationship now, and like I like love her. I've never been like whatever so in love, but she loves to like look up videos of old people on YouTube because she's such a sucker for love. And like there's this one that I don't know, some guy in New York was like interviewing older people. A lot of their spouses have passed, and they're like, now we eat dinner alone. And I know it's just so sad, not to like bring it down, but it's like I feel like it does kind of give you meaning, like if you are like, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about death, just like being an ICU nurse, and I was so close to it. I think it's something we don't talk about a lot. It's something we don't prepare ourselves for, but it is a part of life. But yeah, I think like when you're so in love, you know, it makes it, it's like, it's so hard to lose a spouse, but almost makes it sweeter. That you're like, okay, I will see them one day again, and like I want to. But there's this one guy who like they had lunch at the same diner every day, and then his wife passed, and he would still go with her photo. I know, literally, because it's also like eating meals. I feel like you understand kind of like when you're single, I guess, even now, just being in a more serious relationship now, when I'm like alone eating dinner, I'm like, oh, I wish my girlfriend was here. So I'm like, okay, this is why people get married.
Sharing time with them. I don't know, just your day-to-day companionship. I don't know. It's just however that looks for you. It's such a blessing to have it. It doesn't have to be marriage. Like that's such a traditional outlook, I think. And if you want to get married, great. But like, if you want to just have a buddy, that's also great. Love is love.
No, absolutely.
And I've seen, you know, as I'm sure you've seen, like love is this man brings the picture of his wife with him. My grandpa kept my grandma's driver's license in his wallet behind his, you know, so he could see her picture every day. Like so every day. Like she was with him always, you know? And even though I didn't really know her, I felt like I knew her because he talked about her all the time. So he kept her close. She was a presence in our childhood and in our life, even though she wasn't physically here. So I don't know. There's something to it.
Yeah, that's amazing. My grandma passed away a couple years ago, and same. I feel like I'm almost like her last couple years were really hard. She had like dementia. She had emphysema, so she was on oxygen and stuff. But now it's like I feel like I feel her everywhere. Almost like our relationship has gotten stronger, and like. Because I can't say like whatever you're coming into yourself as a woman. I'm like a new lesbian, a new feminist. I'm like, where the fuck did all this come from? So I'm like, it must have been her. You know. So I feel like I really feel her in that way too. But yeah, it's like it's good to just like kind of find meaning in all of it. You know.
I think so too.
Oh yes. We're over summer, but summer is not over us. Typical, which means we're sweating in places that we shouldn't be as mere dainty ladies. But here comes Lumi. Lumi whole body deodorant is formulated for all the places that might get a little sweaty and smelly, which is normal, might I add, but not exactly ideal. It can go under your pits, privates, and your feet.
I've been using the cream tube deodorant for a couple weeks now because I don't like breaking my wrist trying to put on stick deodorant. So I do like the option of a cream and I love it. I also love the body wash and love knowing that it's actually going to make a difference in clean. I use the cream deo before couples therapy to really put it to the test since I know I'd be sweating like a lesbian in church. And I came out smelling like a daisy and just felt overall fresher all day. It is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop before it starts. So when you do apply it, there's a bit of a smell, the mandelic acid, but it goes away after you apply and then it gets to work. It was developed by an OBGYN. Say less. We love a doctor-backed product, and obviously an OBGYN knows what's going on with potentially smelly bits and saw firsthand how normal BO was misdiagnosed and mistreated. Rude. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code GabbyWindy for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code GabbyWindy at LumiDeodorant.com. My period's here. Yeah, I'm screaming about my period again. Sue me. And we're back to school, so that probably means stress and excitement and breakouts. Like, please, I cannot take one more chin zit. You guys know a chin zit? A zit on your chin? When I'm trying to look good for fall. And you don't need a third eye when sitting in that lecture hall trying to ignore your ex in biology. So we're starting the season with a clear complexion with Zit Sticka. Zit Sticka makes the fastest acting, most potent pimple patches on the market. And now through September 5th, Zit Sticka's top patches are 30% off so you can start the new year with confidence. Zit Sticka has a patch for every zit, from the cystic acne from those dreaded hormones that are trying to ruin our life to surface level whiteheads, the most satisfying ones, to sticka, if you know what I mean. You guys know pimple porn? Okay, maybe just me. Killa Acne Extra Strength has micro darts to start targeting your acne within 2 hours. There's even undercover hydrocolloid patches if you wake up with a chin zit or a cheek zit or an anywhere zit that you can wear under makeup to start working on it before your date that night with God knows who. Zit Sticka patches not only treat blemishes, they repair the skin's barrier at the same time. No other patch is able to treat cystic or hormonal acne with as much precision and high-quality ingredients. For a limited time, Zit Sticka is offering listeners 30% off its best-selling patches on Amazon with code PATCHES30. That's PATCHES30. Put Zit Sticka to the test.
I have a couple more questions. Well, but I also want to get back to this. But let me see. Sorry.
No worries.
I guess we kind of hit a lot. Oh, okay. One more important one. What are male models like? Are they as dumb as they look?
No one's ever asked me that.
Okay, here we go.
Literally no one.
Exclusive.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. I've met a lot of really fun, cool, great male models. Some that I'm friends with, even today. Like there's 2 that I know that I work with kind of consistently that I'm just like, what a great guy. You know, sweet, nice, like has a kid, so cool. But yeah, when I was younger, like for sure, maybe some of them were pretty dumb, but I never really like interacted that much because as much as they're in the modeling world, I think men and women are still pretty separate. There's not a lot of overlap. I mean, every now and then for sure, but I mean, I've never really, I don't have a personal, like a super personal experience or opinion to say, like as a general, like, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, the young ones are kind of dumb, like when they're young, but I was really dumb when I was young, so I'm not judging them. Like,
and men are just like dumber.
I don't know, and more immature. They take longer to grow up. So if you're, you know, crossing paths with a 22-year-old, then you're kind of like,
yeah, exactly.
You are still 16.
Right. When you're that
but
hot,
that's okay.
You just like count your losses. God doesn't give with both hands.
Like, it's okay. You can.
That's
22.
Fine. Right. Yes.
I'm 28, so I'm just gonna.
Totally.
It's really funny. I was at a show and there were male models in the show, and there were really young ones. There was like one. Do I call them a boy or a man? I don't know. Young man. This young man was 20, and he was talking to me and like, oh, where are you from? All this stuff. He was like, how old are you? And I go, oh, I'm 28. And he goes, whoa, you're 28?
Like, wait a second.
And I was like,
yes. Also, thank you, but don't act so surprised. I'm not.
I was like, what do you mean?
I'm
whoa, I'm 28. And he was like, you just don't. I mean, you don't look 28. And I was like, thank you.
Right.
Is that a compliment? I was like, and then I was like, well, how old are you? And he was like, I'm 20. And I was like, whoa.
Literally. Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God, you're 20. What? I was like,
you're a fetus.
And then my a girl standing behind me, she heard the whole interaction. We were waiting in line for the restroom, and she was like, that's so funny. He's freaked out that you're 28. Don't tell him I'm 32.
Right.
She was like, that's hilarious. I was like, and then I was like, oh, you're 32.
Right.
You're so old.
Yeah,
no, we were just giggling.
We were just
giggling. It was just funny. It was cute. He was sweet about it. It was like, I just thought it was endearing more than anything. He was just like, whoa. I was like, whoa. I have a younger brother, so I was like, okay.
Right.
I get that. Okay, great. I'm used to this. I know this interaction. I know this mentality.
So in fact, they are dumb. Just kidding. No, but I love, like, even just circling back to what we were just talking about, like, you're so open about your mental health, which same. Like, I talk about it all the time here. I always talk about what meds I'm on, what meds I'm trying, what meds I'm not trying, how they're working, how they're not working.
I think being open about that stuff is amazing because you never know. Like, some people don't have someone in their lives who are experiencing things that they're going through, so they don't really have someone that they can turn to and ask questions about.
Right.
So to talk about an experience like that is, I think, can be really special for people because it's a place for them to go for a resource if they don't have one.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, I feel like it's still pretty new, like, especially women talking about mental health. Like, there was such a stigma around it for so long. I mean, men just don't think they have a mental health.
Yeah.
But it's like now, it is, and even seem like whatever celebrities or like people with a platform like Lana Del Rey, Queen of Sadness. It's like nice to know, literally same, that it exists in other people, because I feel like it gives you hope, not only that like maybe one day you won't have mental illness, because you will always.
Yeah.
Probably it's like it's something that you're gonna have. It's always a battle, but it's nice that you can like still have a life and like be successful.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the relatability of it all to
you
know
can
that
you can
other
do all of
people-
those things.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a negative thing. It's not gonna.
Yeah, you can't help it.
You can't help it. It's just how things are.
Yeah, totally. And sometimes that's like easier to think about it like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, well, this is just what it is. Like, I think for a while, people were like, go outside, kick your depression. It's like, okay.
No.
It's like obviously not working. It's
Oh my
not that
God.
easy. I don't choose to be sad.
They don't choose to be sad. Like, people who have depression are
Right.
not. This is not a choice.
No, it's like
Having you know, gone through a lot with my own mental health. It's not, you don't just go on a walk and it makes you feel better.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a individual journey, and wherever you're at is wherever you're at.
Yeah.
And the one thing I really don't like the most is people trying to give too much advice or a generalized advice, or I don't know. I just feel like it's a little.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can feel to that person. Gosh, Taylor's struggling with words today. Like degrading or belittling in a sense, where it's like, well, why don't you just do this?
Totally.
It's like,
right.
Gosh.
Yes.
That's the last thing that somebody wants to hear, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes someone just wants to hear, that really sucks.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Like that's
right. Yeah. You can cuss,
you know,
say it.
That's fucked.
That's gonna be in the clip.
I know, right?
No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, I think everybody's like journey is like very individualized, and anything, like you've been dealing with so much grief lately, and that can definitely like you know, people go through different things at different times. There's obviously triggers like grief, and I think grief is so interesting because it doesn't necessarily like come from just death, you know?
No.
It's like it could be like a breakup, or I don't have a great relationship with my mom, so it's almost like I have to mourn her even though she's still alive, and like that is like grieving.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like I think it's great, you know, to talk about.
Grief is complicated. It's really intricate, and everybody's experience is really unique to them. And the one thing I find the most difficult thing to maybe give advice on or speak on is grief, because even though I've gone through grief of my own, somebody else's journey and what their grief is looking like and what they're going through and their loss and their things, that's so specific to them. And just how do you give them advice when your own journey has been so different?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that is, I know it's very hard to sort of put it into words to talk about grief. I think sometimes just letting the person in your life or whomever is going through something, you just have to just let them take the lead sometimes and be reactive to them, because gosh, like it's really difficult. Like, how do you be there for someone? What do you say to them? How do you comfort them? What's their language? Like, how do they receive love? How do they receive comfort? And it's different for everybody. So it's very difficult. Like, even though I've had my own experience and I can speak on that, I do oftentimes get asked, you know, what advice would you give to somebody who's grieving something? And it's very difficult because I don't know.
I'm always talking about my mental health around here because I think it's comforting to know that other people deal with it, at least for me. I love to talk about my depression, what meds I'm on, anything that's happening in therapy, and honestly, anything that can help. OCD is significantly misunderstood. It's not what you see usually portrayed in TV or movies. Instead, it's a severe and very common condition that involves unwanted thoughts, images, and urges that often diminish people's quality of life. It's not just that episode of Girls with Hannah Horvath and the Q-tips. I won't go into detail here because if you know, you know. Due to misconceptions, OCD often goes undetected for years. OCD, when misdiagnosed or left untreated, can become debilitating, so getting effective treatment is crucial. Traditional talk therapy doesn't always work for OCD, and in some cases can make symptoms worse, which I feel like I've experienced because then I just ruminate on those thoughts even more. People can access insurance-backed specialized OCD treatment in live face-to-face video therapy sessions through NoCD. NoCD therapists receive in-depth specialized training in exposure and response prevention therapy, ERP, the gold standard treatment for OCD. NoCD accepts many major insurance plans and provides always-on support between sessions. To learn more about starting OCD therapy with NoCD, go to nocd.com and schedule a free 15-minute call with their team. If you think you might be struggling with OCD and want to talk to someone, NoCD can help. Visit nocd.com to book a free call with their team and learn more about how working with a NoCD therapist can help you start regaining your life from OCD. I will not shut up about fall. Sue me. I'm preparing mentally, spiritually, and physically. This weekend, I went to a little vintage pop up and solely shopped for fall. And I went to Hill House Home. I got these cutie little lacy turtlenecks, hello, to keep it sexy and fall, which we love. Hill House Home invented the viral nap dress, which has the most flattering and comfortable fit with their signature smocking. Girlies, I'm ditching the shorts and the jorts so fast, and ideally we'll be pantless all fall with this dress. We're getting comfy and we're getting cozy. You might not know, but they also make the best robes and pajamas. I love a PJ set because it makes getting into bed easy. I don't have to dig through the bottomless pit of my drawers trying to find the one comfiest clean t-shirt to wear to bed. So, problem solved with a PJ set. Their robes are also so lush, like fresh from the hotel. It's literally called the hotel robe. Robbie and I love to lounge in our robes like we're at the spa, and they come in the cutest prints and colors. Now, obviously, my favorite is the blur, just in time for blur fall. You can also personalize them and get them monogrammed. A perfect gift for a birthday or any special occasion, honestly, just to make it a little sweeter. And girlies, tell your boyfriends because they're probably not listening here, but they could use some tips. Use code GABBY15 at checkout to get 15% off your order of $100 or more. That's GABBY15 for 15% off your order. That's GABBY 15.
Yeah. No, I actually love that because same. I try to never give advice because it's like, one, don't listen to me.
Yeah.
And
Don't listen to me.
yeah.
Why are you asking me?
Right.
Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm just a
Yeah.
girl in the world.
Literally. And it is so like individualized
Mhm.
and advice is like different for everybody. How did you like get through your like periods of grief and stuff?
I think for me it was I'm still sort of going through a lot of it, I think.
Yeah. And I've obviously been researching you, but do you mind kind of explaining like what you've been going through and
Yeah,
stuff?
definitely. So I lost my dog Tate last year to lymphoma, and Tate was the love of my life, my best friend, my soulmate. He was a miniature labradoodle. He was my little chicken nugget, just like this beautiful angel right here. He's not the same. He's a golden doodle.
Yeah.
Similar, but not the same.
Yeah.
And he's my best friend. And when I lost him, it was really devastating for me because I just didn't think it would come so soon, and it was quite sudden because he was 9, so he was older. But labradoodles, in general, a generalization, are meant to live up to around 14 to 16 years old. So 12, 13, 14 was kind of where my head was at. So at 9, when they said that they thought he had cancer, it was like such a shock, and it felt really sudden. And from the day that he was diagnosed with cancer to the day that I lost him was just over a month. So it was hard because I'm so grateful for that month though, that time with him, that it was very special, even though it was very fast. I'm so happy I had that time with him.
Yeah, it's so true.
And he really meant a lot to me. And why it was such a big loss and why it was so heavy for me was because Tate came into my life when I was 18, and we went through a lot of life together.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he was with me for was when I had a miscarriage. And when I lost my pregnancy, I was unable to be with people. I didn't have people around me. I was alone. My husband was in a different country because it was in 2021, so there were still COVID restrictions for travel. He had to quarantine in a green zone before he could enter into the U.S. for 2 weeks. And
that's when it happened.
And that was when it was happening.
I'm so sorry.
He was with me for a while, but he was on Anesta. We weren't married yet at that point, and but we were engaged and we were planning on getting married. And he was with me, and he couldn't spend too many days in the States because of the visa he was on. And then he had to go home, and because he had just left me, to get back to me was 2 weeks of quarantine, like all this stuff. And then for me to get to where he was, I had to have a letter of
to travel.
I forget what it's called. It was like a laissez-passer, which is like a letter of passage or something.
Okay.
And it was clients' jobs, if I was there for work or like a special circumstance or an exception to get into the country. So for my work, I was able to get these letters, but if I didn't have work, I couldn't just on a whim, like I couldn't just fly to these places.
Right. Yeah. Nobody's like traveling for fun during COVID.
I mean, later in the year, it did loosen up a bit and I got a little bit easier, but this was back in like March, April of 2021. So it was 1 year after all of like 2020 shutdowns. And I was going to my doctor's appointments alone. I mean, my sister went with me to like a couple of them, but she couldn't come in the room with me. It was like, it was just really weird. Like I had to be this whole thing that I wasn't expecting. I conceived on an IUD, so I had birth control.
That's so crazy.
So I was really not in the headspace to expect a pregnancy at all. So it was a really shocking time.
Yeah.
But I also kind of never really came to terms with, oh, this is going to happen, because 50-50, really. I mean, or at least that's what I was told.
Right. Did they leave the IUD in?
No, we took it out.
Okay.
So maybe that's what did it. I have no idea.
It would be so hard to. Like,
I don't know. That was just the way we went about it. That was my journey. I know some women leave it in and it's fine. Okay. Some women leave it in and they miscarry. So it was just sort of like.
It's so hard to say.
I don't know. I just didn't. I personally I was chatting with my doctor at the time, and she was like, "Do you want to carry this pregnancy out? Like, what are you thinking?" And I was like, "Well, if I can, I would. I feel like I love this person. This is the person I'm going to have children with anyway. If this is how it happens, maybe it's meant to be."
Right.
So she was like, "Okay, well, there's two things we could do. We could leave it in or we could take it out. If we leave it in, you could carry the pregnancy through and everything's fine. Or because the IUD is telling your body that you can't."
Right. It's like a toxic environment.
So it could potentially create an environment that is not
like viable
for pregnancy. So she was like, "I've seen that scenario go one of two ways, or we could take it out. And if we take it out, okay, so you are disrupting the environment on which you conceived."
Totally. That's what I was thinking. It's like you could probably hook something or like.
So, or by taking it out, you're creating a more stable environment where there's not a hormone in your body telling you that you are already or shouldn't be pregnant.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I spoke with my mom about it. I Googled some stuff. Google.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I did some research. I asked I asked a friend who was in residency at a hospital, and she was like, I mean, yeah, she's right. She's like, whatever you want. I mean,
it's
so I don't know.
Like not like lose, but it's like a chance either. It wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's like,
so I was like, well, I don't know. I kind of just like in my gut felt like I need to get this out. I need to take it out.
Right. That would, like consciously you'd feel like
basically it was from the scans and from my appointment, they said that it had fallen out of my uterus and into my cervix, so that's why I was able to conceive, and it could like go back up, and it was so it was already basically out, so they just like pulled it out.
Okay.
So I was like, so that's like what was my logic behind it's not in there,
Right. I would feel the same way.
Here I am talking as if I know.
No,
you are. You know.
No, you do too. I mean, it's your
You're
body.
a medical professional.
Yeah, was unregistered nurse.
I was like, here I am. I'm like, I think this.
No, but that's why it's like, I mean, it's important, like, as a woman to, like, learn about your body, and this is what it takes.
Yeah.
Like,
so I don't know. Maybe that was my mistake. Maybe that's why it happened. Like
there's no wrong.
I have no idea. Like, if we just don't know. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
How did I? What? It's
Oh
so
my
crazy.
Gosh, it's not your fault at all.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is just my journey and like how it all happened and how it all shook out for me. But yeah, when I went through this roller coaster of emotions of. I was sad and upset that this happened, and then I was like, why am I, this is so crazy, I don't want to be a parent. And then I was like, well, maybe I'm going to be one, and maybe I should kind of halfway accept that, maybe a little bit, kind of come to terms with that possibility. And then for me to have had the miscarriage, I was kind of annoyed because I was like, well, what's the point of all of this? What's the point?
You completely changed your headspace.
You're like, it was just like a whiplash in a sense. Like it really just felt like a roller coaster where I felt all the things, and then I felt really stupid, and then I felt really angry, and I was like, oh my God, well, maybe I messed up, and maybe I shouldn't have taken it out. And then I was like, well, what am I even saying? Like, did I really even, was I even ready for this? Like, I don't know. And then I felt immediately guilty for thinking that. And I was like, oh my God, like, like it was really just such a cluster of emotions that were just crowding my brain. And it was a really difficult time. And the only one who was physically with me when all this was happening was Tate. And so when I lost him, it was really hard because he had been through so much with me in a different way than maybe a person is with you, because as you know,
they don't talk back.
And their love is unconditional. They just love you no matter what.
And I feel like they really can sense things when something's off.
It's so crazy. They're just these beautiful spiritual little creatures. I don't know. I just feel like they know and understand something that we don't know. And he was there for me for a lot of really hard stuff. And, you know, in order for me to talk about my business, the passion, the reasoning behind why I've started Tate and Taylor, why losing Tate was so difficult for me, I felt like, okay, well, here's a scenario and something I went through in my life where I felt like he was the one that was able to be there with me, and maybe I wouldn't have been able to get through it the way that I did if I didn't have him in my life. So that's sort of just a full circle moment, and sort of, you know, some things that I went through, and some stuff in my life that I don't know, I just shaped who I am, shaped my relationship, shaped my passion and my drive for everything that I do. And he was a really big part of that.
Oh yeah, especially in such like a unique time, like with COVID, when you just couldn't have a lot of support from other people, from your husband, the person I'm sure that you probably wanted to see the most. Like,
and vice versa. So even though we couldn't be together, obviously I had emotional support from so many people. I did have my family. I did have my mom. I did have my husband. But he couldn't hug me. He couldn't hold me. He couldn't come hold my hand in the appointments or in the waiting room, and I knew it was killing him, you know? So, and same. It was just, it was tough because all you want to do is be with that person.
Oh
so
my gosh,
it was definitely a wild time where it was just, it really feels like a fever dream. So
absolutely, I'm sure. It's just like everything compounding, like I can't imagine, but it's nice to, like, you know, it is such a unique bond, like with you and Tate, because he had been through something already so crazy with you. You're already grieving and like trying to process these complicated emotions, and it's like to have something there physically, you know, would bring you guys so close. And then to lose him, I can't imagine.
It was almost sort of like experiencing the losses all over again, because it was
like a reminder.
Like, who am I gonna go to? Who am I gonna hold now? Like, who am I gonna I don't know, I used to like squish him, like little love squishes, and I was like, who am I gonna squish?
When I need to. What's Taylor and Tate exactly?
So Tate and Taylor. It's
Sorry, Tate and Taylor.
no worries. It's my pet company. So I basically started an online platform, and we curate products from amazing brands, founders who I think are just doing an amazing job in the pet space, and are creating products that are either really innovative. These are women-owned businesses. These are, you know, maybe they're more sustainability conscious. I just think that they're doing things that are really great and really forward thinking, because I do think that the pet space is oversaturated. There's a lot going on.
Oh, so much.
There's a lot of noise. There's no direction. I always feel a little confused, like what food, why fresh food, why kibble, why this supplement versus that supplement, and why does my dog have a rash? Is it a diet thing? Is it a big word. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it a skin problem?
Yeah.
Oh my God, smaller words. Let's just use smaller words today. Is it, you know, a product, a topical reason? Is it, you know, did they get bit by a flea? Is it a bug thing? It's like so crazy. And I just felt like there's a lack of information and a lack of, I don't know. I do know. It's like a lack of community, but a knowledgeable community, a happy place to go to ask these questions and see what's going on, who's doing what and why, and who's doing this better, and who has a innovative product, and why does this product work, or why is it better than others. So that's sort of what we're doing at the moment. And, you know, I really love the idea. I loved the idea of being able to speak with founders, because I use a lot of the products that I have on the website before I met them, and I use them with Tate.
Yeah.
So when I started Tate and Taylor, and I was reaching out to the founders of these businesses, I get to chat with them and have sort of a one-on-one with, well, why did you start this brand? Why are you doing this?
What's your research behind it? Like, does it work?
Oh my God. And it was so amazing, because they're so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
They've done all the work. They know what they're doing. You know, there's a brand on our website called Floof, and the founder, Michael Kim, he developed the entire line with a veterinary dermatologist.
Wow.
That people don't do that in the pet space. They just throw something together and sell it and say, oh, here's this shampoo, and then the next thing you know, your dog has a rash, because they're not testing it in a way that we would for a person or a human.
Even going to vets, you're like, are you overcharging me? Like, does my dog actually need all this? Are
I know,
you just, like, taking advantage? Like,
exactly. Sometimes I just feel like there's a lack of trust with some stuff, and I think that there are trustworthy people. There are really cool brands doing amazing things. So I just started coming to this realization where, as I'm speaking to these founders with these products that I was using, and I'm talking to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, how come I didn't even know that? And I've been using it, and it's just, I love this product already, but being able to hear why you developed it and what your story was, how can I tell that story? How can I amplify someone's voice? How can I give a platform and a place for other people with pets to come and learn about their story too, and want to invest in or buy their product, because they like their story, and they know that they're making it for a reason, and they have a passion and a drive, just like I do, just like you do. We love our pets. They're our children. We want to take care of them. So, you know, our tagline is like a place for pets and their people, because obviously it's like for the pets, for our fur babies, and we want to take care of them, but also it's just support, like for the person, of knowing, feeling, you know, safe in this place, knowing everything here is really good, and you're like supporting
the worst feeling when you're like, oh my God, am I making my own dog sick?
So I really liked the idea of being able to build something on that, and then also just learn the space, learn the industry really well, sort of, again, like pay my dues, like start from square one, and not just come out with my own product and be like, oh, buy this because it's me and it's great. It's like, I would love to start a product one day, but I want to make sure I'm making the right product.
Right. And you have to do your research.
Do
and,
my
like,
research.
Be in it,
learn all about it, talk to cool people,
Mm-hmm.
listen to the community that we're building. What is a problem? What can we help solve? What's a product that you want to see from us? Because the last thing I want to do is add to the
issue,
oversaturated business, and create something that's not authentic or not something that's needed.
Yeah.
Why make something and convince someone to buy it? It just feels a little backwards, or at least for me it felt backwards to me, especially in the pet space, especially if having a dog, lost the dog and gone through that full circle of life with that animal. I wanted to do something that felt really supportive, because I got a lot of support. How can I give support back?
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's basically what we're doing now. But, we're building and growing and changing every day. And that's also a really fun part of it, is that we're really small right now and we can do anything. We have so much. It's going to be so fun just to watch it grow and build and see how we evolve. Like, I'm excited for that too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's amazing. It's like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
It's so nice that you have a genuine interest in this stuff, because it's not like you can fake it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I love him. Just kidding. But even finding him a food and stuff, what you're saying, I had him on a bad food once. I was like, but somebody recommended it to me. Yeah. So now you're saying it's causing kidney failure. Who do I believe?
I know.
So it's it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I saw in your story that you read ACOTAR.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
Oh, my God.
We're fairy freaks around here.
Don't even get me started. Yeah. Oh, my God. I was trying to explain it to someone, and they were like, what? What do you read?
Literally. Have you read them all?
Yes, I've read them all.
Oh, my gosh. I'm almost through Mist and Fury.
Oh, the best one.
That's what everyone says. Yeah, I know.
Oh, get ready for your whole world to be destroyed. My sister just finished the second book, and she texted me a picture of herself crying, and I was like, oh my God. I told you.
I haven't gotten there yet. I only have 10% left because I read on a Kindle.
God,
but I'm nothing's making me gonna cry yet.
It's amazing.
Oh my God. Who's your favorite character?
Oh gosh. Well, I obviously love Feyre. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Insecure
what a
saying
name.
it out loud.
I call her Feyre.
Feyre?
Yeah.
Feyre? I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. I've never said it out loud. I only say it in
so
my
crazy.
head.
It's such a crazy choice of a name.
Please don't yell at me.
I think you are. I've looked it up.
I'm insecure. I did too, but I'm like, am I saying it right?
There's no other way to say it.
I'm insecure about
it's
that
gaslighting. SJM is gaslighting us by making
love her though.
Crazy. Yeah, she's a genius.
Oh God, her ability to storytell is insane.
Yeah. And
the stories,
so storylines.
Oh,
speaking of exhaustion, I can barely read it.
It's amazing. I was in I got captured. She captured my attention. I got stuck in. I was like, I can't leave.
No, it's so good. I was on
entrapment. I was like, I'm stuck here and I can't.
I'm busy for the next I don't know, 3-4 months. Yeah. I was on ACOTAR Reddit.
Oh
also
gosh.
Fun if you are missing it and want to go back to hear people's opinions.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Just so much fun.
Yeah.
But so Feyre is my favorite, but then also I love Nesta.
Okay, yeah, I can't wait to get to know her.
Because her book is also just so powerful and really cool. And she's such a great character builder, Sarah J. Maas. And the way she was able to create this character that's quite volatile and you're not really sure you like her in the beginning. And then you just end up having such a soft spot for her, and she creates this little place in your heart for Nesta. So I really love, obviously, our hero, the one we root for and who we love from day one is Feyre. Feyre, but Nesta, I love her too. I just have such a soft spot for her.
That's why I'm excited to read her book, which is coming soon. But same, I feel like Feyre is she's perfect. She's such a hard worker. Everything is working out for her. But it's I'm ready to see some mess. Yeah, I want to see imperfection. I love to hate.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can't wait.
Yeah. Nest is a good one.
Yeah. Have you read A Throne of Glass? I guess
I
is the other
haven't
one.
started it yet. I'm reading the Crescent City series.
Okay. Is it also by her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard those were good too.
Because I think there's 3 books.
Mm-hmm.
So after I came off of a 5-book journey of ACOTAR,
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't read for like 3 months. It ruined my life in the best way.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to take a break from reading. Because I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, trying to pick up a book and all I could think about was like, but it's not them.
Yeah, because you get so attached to
I was
the characters.
so attached
It's
to
like,
them and I didn't want
yeah.
to let them go. And I wanted them to be in my head. And I was like, ugh. So it took me a while, and then I started like reading again, and then I was like, well, I could get into Throne of Glass, but I forget how many books, but there's quite a few, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
6
I
or
think they're pretty
7.
dense, too.
There's more in Throne of Glass
Oh,
than
really?
ACOTAR. So
Mhm.
I saw that Crescent City was another series that she did, and there was 3 books. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll start that because
Smart.
it's a little shorter,
Yeah.
and they're like this thick. They're huge books.
Oh my
these
God,
3
really?
books. Yeah.
Oh, that's so intimidating to me. Even like that's why I like reading on the Kindle because you can't really tell.
You can't tell.
Yeah.
I like
But
reading
then
the
I'm like,
book.
I should be. Yeah, I know.
I have to hold the book.
Totally. There's something.
There's
about,
something
like, the
about
physical.
finishing it and being like, I just read all that.
Yeah. Well, look at this.
I was like carrying around the first one on vacation with me this summer, and it's just like it's a stack. It's this thick, and I'm carrying it around and I'm reading on the beach, and everyone's like, "Wow, that's a serious book. You are really
Literally,
reading."
yeah.
And I was like,
that's a smart bitch. Yeah.
and then when I
And, like, a
finished
thong
it,
bikini,
yeah, I'm
and
like
you're
reading
you
the
can be
book.
both.
And like I finished the book, and my brother-in-law was like, "Oh my God, you finished all of that?" I was like, "Correct.
Yeah.
I did. Yes, I did. I read this whole book. You're welcome."
No, literally, you could never.
You could never read this.
It's like them fully having sex.
It's
like
an
a hot,
encyclopedia.
steamy scenes. Yeah.
I'm like, maybe you should read it. You might learn a little something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe men should read this.
Actually,
It should be a requirement.
that's why I say Rysand wrong, or I think it's Rysand.
Yeah, like recent.
Okay, there it is.
Recent.
I call him Rysand. But
Don't, maybe I'm wrong too.
No, I get like dragged on TikTok. I don't care. I don't care. But no, yeah, the way he treats women is so hot.
Yeah.
And, like, he's a feminist. Men
like,
should learn from him.
I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I love you.
Literally. Yeah. Okay, how we end normally, sometimes it's new, is like I call it Queen of the Week.
Oh.
It's like some kind of like woman who you're looking up to, who's like inspiring you right now. It can be anyone. Feyre. Yeah.
Gosh, like Sarah J. Maas? Like,
yeah, literally.
gosh, I mean, there's so many. Who do I pick?
Yeah, whatever you want.
I would say, just because this is my North Star and my most consistent person I look up to, or woman, is my mom.
Aw, I love that.
Because I really love her, and I just feel like as I've been doing all this and talking about my life and my career, it just makes me realize more and more that I couldn't have done what I've done and accomplished what I have if it wasn't for her and her support. So I love my mom. She is a queen. She had 4 children in the span of 5 years, and she's
Badass.
so cool and tough and strong, but she was really encouraging and let us each express our own individuality. And looking back on it, she had no idea what she was doing, but she was a great parent. So I really love my mom, and I look up to her a lot, and maybe one day I can
Oh my God.
be
of
like her.
course. Oh my gosh, yes. I think just to have such a good example of that is like, and like if you just love your children and support them, like look how far you can go.
Yeah,
It's such a testament.
it's true.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Where can we find you? Where can we find Tate and Taylor?
So you
too?
can, if you want to find me on Instagram, I am Taylor_Hill, and I think it's the same on TikTok. And then Tate and Taylor is at Tate and Taylor on Instagram, TikTok, and our website, tateandtaylor.com.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So fun.
This is fun. Yay, we did it.